There is a new development that should concern every American software company. Denmark, one of Europe's most tech-progressive countries, has placed digital independence at the center of its national strategy. The Danish Ministry of Digitalization is moving away from Microsoft Office to LibreOffice. But the real story isn't just the software switch. Denmark has built a contingency plan to fully operate without US systems if needed. For the first time, a Nordic country is treating companies like Microsoft and Google not as partners, but as strategic risks. And Denmark isn't alone. France has announced that by 2027, 2.5 million civil servants will stop using Microsoft Teams and Zoom, replacing them with a French-built platform. This signals something much bigger. Europe is no longer just using American tech, it's preparing to move beyond it. So what's driving this shift? Right now, US companies control over 80% of Europe's cloud market. For years, that felt convenient. Now, it feels like a vulnerability. The reason is simple: the US Cloud Act. It allows American authorities to access data from US companies, even if that data is stored in Europe. That means European government data could legally be accessed under US jurisdiction. For a long time, Europe tolerated this. But geopolitical tensions have changed the equation. Now the question is no longer, is this efficient? It's, is this safe? France made this clear when it said it cannot risk sensitive data being exposed to non-European actors. This is not just policy, it's a shift in mindset. Of course, moving away from US software isn't easy. It means retraining staff, rebuilding systems, and dealing with short-term inefficiencies. But once that cost is paid, something powerful happens: independence. Denmark gains the ability to operate without Microsoft. France trains millions of workers on local platforms. Germany has already migrated thousands of systems to open-source tools. This creates something very important: leverage. Now, when European governments negotiate with companies like Microsoft or Google, they have a real alternative. And that changes everything. Because the real power of companies like Microsoft isn't just apps like Word or Teams, it's the entire ecosystem: identity systems, security, and cloud infrastructure, all deeply integrated. That's what created dependency. But once governments prove they can rebuild that system using open-source alternatives, that dependency starts to break. And this doesn't stop with governments. When governments call American tech a risk, companies start thinking the same way. If a government can switch, why not major corporations? This is where things get serious for US tech dominance. Because the next battleground isn't just software, it's AI. Tools like Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, and Amazon Q rely on massive amounts of data. And whoever controls that data controls the future of decision-making. Europe doesn't want that data sitting under US legal control again, so they're acting early by building their own AI systems, platforms, and infrastructure. What we're seeing is not just a tech shift, it's a strategic decoupling. By 2027, Denmark, France, and parts of Germany will have proven they can function without American software. And once that proof exists, others will follow. Nordic countries, EU states, and eventually regions outside Europe. Because this isn't just Europe's problem. If one region successfully reduces dependence on US tech, it creates a blueprint for the rest of the world. And that's the real risk for American companies. They stop being irreplaceable infrastructure and become replaceable vendors. The digital world is no longer unified, it's fragmenting. And what Denmark just did may be remembered as the moment that shift became real. Denmark's contingency plan is especially important because it doesn't just focus on switching software, it proves operational independence. It shows that governments can function without being locked into a single ecosystem, and that alone shifts the balance of power in future negotiations with major tech companies. Across Europe, similar strategies are quietly expanding. Germany's Schleswig-Holstein has already migrated thousands of government computers to Linux and LibreOffice, building internal expertise that can be scaled further. This means the knowledge to leave American platforms is no longer theoretical. It is practical and repeatable. This also has long-term financial implications. While the initial transition costs are high, once governments complete the shift, they reduce licensing costs and gain long-term control over their own digital infrastructure. Over time, This turns into both economic and strategic advantage. Another critical layer to this shift is control over data. As AI becomes more integrated into daily operations, the question is no longer just about software tools, but about who controls the data those tools rely on. European governments are increasingly unwilling to allow sensitive data to be processed under foreign legal systems. This is why Europe is not only replacing software, but also investing in its own cloud systems, AI models, and digital ecosystems. The goal is not just independence today, but long-term technological sovereignty. If this model succeeds, it could influence countries beyond Europe. Nations in Asia, Latin America, and even parts of Africa may begin adopting similar strategies to reduce reliance on foreign tech providers. And that's where the real transformation begins. Once multiple regions start building their own digital ecosystems, the global tech landscape shifts from a single dominant system to multiple competing ones. In that world, American companies are no longer default choices. They are simply one option among many. And that represents a fundamental change in global technological power.